Okay, for my rifle, for my shooting setup, for Sniper Adventure Challenge, I went with a super lightweight AR by JP. So this is a gun they built for me years ago that was intended for 3-gun. I never shot 3-gun, so it's just a AR that I've had for various fun purposes. But then for this race, once I decided to do this race, and we decided I was going to be the AR guy, I made it as light as possible because, again, we were hiking for very long distances and the shooting was pretty minimal. So this is not your typical long-range gun, but it worked great. Super lightweight USO TS 3x12. This was perfect. This is all I needed. It's a very lightweight scope and it worked great for the match. Michael actually sold it to me. It was one of his old scopes with a very lightweight mount by Aero Precision. The stock by Smoke Composites, carbon fiber. They have a cheek weld that goes on here. Took that off. Smoke Composites grip, carbon fiber, also very light. The handguard, I always forget the name. Carbon fiber. It was a contact that Michael has. They set us up. Lighter than another carbon fiber handguard that I bought from, I think, Smoke Composites. And then Proof Research, carbon fiber barrel. Not a long setup, just a 16-inch overall length, and a titanium muzzle brake, again, to keep the weight super low. The JP Carrier Group, low mass operating system, again, another lightweight component to just drop the ounces. And of course, no Arca rail on this because the shooting wasn't going to be too intensive, and a little bipod by Spartan Precision, the Pro Hunt. These guys make some great equipment, and for lightweight stuff, it's always a go-to. And this setup here for the shooting, for all the shooting stages we did, worked out great. Just drilling targets. You know, on the second day, we had at least a 25-mile-per-hour wind, holding 2.5, 3 mils left, and I was drilling targets with this. So I'm going to leave this setup as is, and maybe if I shoot again next year, which I'm planning on it, and I'm the AR guy, I will use this. Oh, and then for a sling, sling was a required piece of equipment. I actually never used the sling, but all I did was tie this little 1-inch tubular nylon around the buttstock with a little overhand knot. And so, again, I never used it, but if I would have had to, I could have just slung it like this, and I would have it in this position. So, simple setup, nothing too fancy. Did that for the reason of keeping everything light. Now I'll go into, let me put this aside. Magazines, well, pistol first. So I carried this Glock 19, which happened to be the lightest pistol. You can't have a red dot, so I took the red dot off that I have. It was actually even lighter than my compact pistol, primarily because of the Gunco slide cuts and the work on the slide. But I weighed all my pistols to include my compacts, and this was the lightest pistol I have. So this is what I used. I have it, the 365, the SIG 365 is supposed to be lighter. Once I get my hands on one of those, I will use that instead of this. And that's what Michael carried. He carried a 365. But this was the lightest I had, so this is what I used. You had to have 3 magazines. I had my 3 Glock magazines. And then for the AR, you had to have 3 magazines. So I had 3 mags for my military day. I should have used 3 20-rounders. Next year, I'll do that. Something I want to show you is the pouches I use for all of this stuff. Were pouches I made with Dyneema, super lightweight. This is actually the same stuff I used at Mammoth. At least these 2 pouches are for carrying my mag pouches during stages. And then you needed to have a holster. And so this is kind of funny. When I think about these matches and the pistol requirements or the pistol shooting requirements, there's never 1-second draws that are required. Heck, there's never even 2 or 3-second draws that are required in these matches, especially the long range matches that are going to make a big deal. So I weighed all my options and I looked at all my holsters, primarily Kydex, and I didn't find anything super lightweight. And I knew the pistol shooting wasn't going to be that important. So I sewed my own sleeve, basically, my own holster for the match. So the Glock goes right in this Dyneema sleeve, which weighs next to nothing, folds over, and there's Velcro. And then you thread your belt through, and you have your pistol. I never needed to put this on or use this. So this weight savings, where it seems silly, was 7-8 ounces. I forget what it was over the Kydex, but all of those things and that kind of attention to detail to weight add up. And this paid off again because one, I didn't have to use it, and two, even if I did have to draw from this, I would draw fast enough for any of the demands that these competitions have. This isn't a USPSA match. This isn't a 3-gun match. And as far as space and compactability, it is like no holster. So, little trick that I did. I think it worked out well. Really happy with that. Also, in terms of belt, I have the belt in the kit. I just took a piece of nylon, a piece of 1.5-inch nylon, and sewed some hook and pile tape on each side, no belt buckle, and had the lightest possible weight belt I could have, which I never needed. So again, it was an item. If I needed to have the pistol on my hip and the magazines on my hip, I had the ability to do that, but I never had to do that. So happy with all my kit for shooting, and a couple little things I might tweak, like with the magazines and possibly a lighter pistol in the future if I shoot it again. All right, thanks.